Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla, and this is Ivy, and it's time to crack into a good book. So it's finally time. I've been postponing filming this for a while, but I figured it would be fun to do a book versus show for Behind Her Eyes. The book is by Sarah Pinborough, and Netflix just recently did a limited series, and yeah, I think this is just going to be like a, what should you do? Should you read it? Should you watch it? And
I haven't read it, but I watched the show.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
So before we get started, leave an eye emoji in the comments to let us know that you're here. So we'll begin with some just spoiler-free thoughts, I think, about the series, and for me, you know, like having read the book, I'll kind of comment on that a little bit, and then we'll get into some more spoilery thoughts episode by episode if you want that. So I guess, what was your general impression? Did you enjoy watching the show?
Yeah, I liked it. We've been doing a thing lately where we alternate show picks, and I had never heard of this one, but Kayla chose it, so it's, you know, I knew it was based on a book, but that was all I really knew, and just kind of a psychological thriller. But it was definitely worth watching. It's not 6 episodes? 8 episodes?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not very
short.
long, yeah.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on. There's like 2 timelines at least, but it's not hard to follow at all, and I enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, so I think having read the book, I didn't love the book. I think going into it, I knew that something big happened, and so I was kind of like on my guard and prepared for something and then guessed it pretty easily. But I think it was interesting having read that first and then jumping into the show, because I feel like I was much more excited for the show. And generally, I feel like the show is better. So, yeah, I think, you know, my sister had also watched it and I think really enjoyed watching the show. She had not read the book.
The 3 leads are all really good. Actors.
Yeah, so I think takeaway here, non-spoilery, is watch the show, don't read the book, in my opinion. So,
well, already did that. Just watching the show, I was able to kind of guess the thing. At first it was kind of joking, but I honed it in. I was in the right general direction pretty much from the start. So
okay, I guess that'll be like the just very short non-spoilery thing. So the more interesting stuff, I think, is to go episode by episode. So in episode 1, I have some notes taken down. My notes are literally like, the dream things are done much better in the show than I expected. She has like, was it night terrors? I don't know. But can't sleep very well, and so you can,
the main character.
Yeah, the main character. I was really curious to see how they would actually convey that in the show, because of like, you know, obviously in a book you can tell if somebody's dreaming, but like, how are they going to do that in the show? But
it was just like a recurring dream with subtle changes to it.
But yeah, I mean, like, they definitely did it in a way that you could tell, like, she is asleep. I think having read the book, it was really interesting to, like, watch the show, because I was able to pick up on a lot of clues, and, like, I think there's subtle hints throughout the show of, like, things to expect. Like, here with the first episode, I have interesting nods to, like, focusing on the watch that Adele wears that ends up, like, falling into the well, and they kind of, like, zoom in on that, and then there's, like, you know, the counting the fingers thing with Adele, I think, and generally, I think Adele is, like, I wrote something about Adele kind of sizing up Louise, and Louise is definitely funny and nice here, and then my comment is, Ivy suspects Adele is going to murder and eat her.
I knew it was some sort of, like, consumption. Initially, I was leaning cannibalism, like,
yes, there were a lot of cannibalism comments.
You know, it's not too much of a stretch for, like, soul consumption, which is basically what happened.
Yeah. But yeah, I think generally for me, the casting was done really well here. Like, in the book, Louise is kind of, from what I remember, like an overweight white woman. And so they changed her in the show to be like a really pretty black woman. And I think what was interesting, like, I think Louise is a lot more likable in the show. At first in the book, I did kind of, well, yes, that is true in both cases. But in the book, Adele kind of takes advantage of Louise, like, having low self-esteem, and that's, like, she helps her with the gym and, like, eating healthier. And I feel like there was some of that in the show, but it was not as, like, prominent, I guess, as in the book.
Yeah, it was more just, like, she had a new friend.
Yeah. Then the second episode, I have notes about, like, oh, it shows, you know, this is where we kind of see the well and, you know, focusing on that watch down there. And we get a reveal that Rob is gay. And again, Ivy's thinking that Adele and Rob have teamed up to kill people. And something about, oh yeah, with the recurring dream, I think you thought that Louise had another son who overdosed on pills and died. So it was actually her mother, I think.
Oh, it was her mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Only one son here. Yeah, so this was interesting with Rob in particular. Like, I think in the book, you really don't get that sense that he's gay until much later.
Oh, I didn't even remember it from the show either, though.
Oh, really? Well, I think he makes some comments.
He didn't seem like a really complex character. I don't know.
Well, I think that's kind of like the whole motivation behind why he ends up switching places with Adele to be with David.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that. I thought he just thought her life was better.
No, he was like, he's definitely obsessed with David.
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
Okay.
I did not get that at all.
Yeah. So I think in the book, it's like, so I figured in the book that there was some sort of soul swapping going on, and I was kind of convinced that Adele had been possessed or something. Like, I didn't know it was Rob necessarily up until like it was kind of at the end, and there's like something, I think it's the scene where Rob is like, oh, we should try something, and I was like, oh god, I know what's happened here. I think the book does not do a good job of setting up the motivations for Rob to switch with Adele, but I think this was much better done in the show, though obviously.
I literally just thought he wanted her better life and to like be able to live in a mansion and not be poor and scrounging for drug money.
Yeah, no, the show does, I think, some good like zoom ins of like, I don't know,
awkward. Well, I remember like awkward conversation endings and stuff like that, but I didn't pick up on that. Sorry.
Well. Okay. So then the third episode, I think there was a lot of foreshadowing with Rob being in Adele's body. Like, I think the counting the fingers the same way, dressed in similar clothes, and what is this? At a similar table as the scene with Louise and Adele meeting. I think this was maybe, I don't know what I meant by that exactly. I think that in general, there was much more foreshadowing here of like, here are some subtle hints that you can pick up on to tell that Rob has taken over Adele's body. That was kind of interesting for me, like knowing that Rob had taken over, and so then I was kind of like, I don't know, just looking out for clues of how they would try to convey that in the show. And then episode 4, that's when the second door is introduced, so we get into the lucid dreaming situation, and Ivy's like, she's Bran Stark, still convinced with the eating people situation.
No, I had moved to more of a spirit consumption.
Well, I have a note about heroin, got a lot of stuff. I don't know what that means. But
well, yeah, the heroin, clearly, like Adele was never into heroin. And like even I don't know if that was the episode where you had the flashback to the aftermath.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was one of the episodes you had the flashback. It ended, I think, on Adele being like, "Oh no, he overdosed."
Yeah, so I think maybe Adele was buying heroin in this episode or something, and so I think that's another like clue you can pick up on that it's actually Rob, because like she was never into that, but he was and had a pretty high tolerance, and so I think it's just setting the scene for some future things. Episode 5, yes. You're saying Adele is going to eat Louise, maybe if not physically, then consume her soul. In general, I wrote that the second door is coming in later than it does in the book, and so I think pretty early on in the book, I was guessing that there was going to be some sort of like body swapping situation. And, oh yeah, you were wondering how Louise knew that Adele had lied to her and orchestrated the meeting and things like that. So I think with that, the book actually is probably better about that, because Louise actually does ask her about the second door multiple times, and so they're kind of like setting the stage for that in the book more. Here, I think in the show, it was less obvious to tell. Like, there are some clues, like there's, I think, a scene where the camera focuses in on Louise showing David the map when, like, pointing out where her son goes to school, and so that's why Adele knew, like, where to run into Louise. But yeah, I mean, I definitely remember you were like, I don't know how this happened.
Yeah, because it only explicitly shows her like warging into the corner of his office, or whatever. So you get what she can do, but you don't until they sort of tell you the limitations of like seeing the place. It's not really super clear.
Oh yeah, so there are only 6 episodes, it looks like. So then the last episode, we've got Adele slashing up Marianne's clothes instead of killing the cat, which, like, the book starts off with them trying to, like, bury the cat, which I was not a fan of. And so I'm glad that they made that change. Like, we don't need the cat to be killed. And so then I think here, this is, like, when Adele switches places with Louise, and I think they did a good job of...
she's dumb.
Well, yeah, like, I don't know why...
Louise is dumb. That is not how you handle that.
Well, exactly. Like, the thing that annoyed me is, like, okay, so... you want to help your friend, but clearly there's, like, something off about her. So, like, why would you try to help her when also, like, you have a son? What are you doing? Like, don't leave your body.
It's not even a really great plan on, like, Adele Rob's part. Mm-hmm. Because you rely on a pretty impulsive, stupid decision. Mm-hmm. I guess.
Well, I can't remember if Adele Robb had actually planned on doing that or just, like, took advantage of it. I think they did plan it.
Because, yeah, I mean, in the show, it definitely seemed planned.
Yeah. Because, I mean, she did set the fire and call or text Louise, I think. I think at that point, Adele had gotten desperate because Louise told her that David was going to turn himself in, and so she was like, oh, I have to do something drastic.
Yeah, but... Well, yeah, I understand for Adele. Mm-hmm. Like, it was she was kind of backed into a corner, but, like, I think it just relies on Louise not being like, oh, I'm going to go get somebody else to help, and, like...
Yeah, so that's...
5 people busting in and trying to rescue her, instead of just, like, I'm going to fall asleep on the doorstep and try and save her from the spirit realm. I don't know if that would have been my first...
Yeah, well, but again, it's stupid. Like, Louise kind of does this lucid dreaming because the house is on fire. Why would you do that when you have a son? And, like, I don't know. It's just stupid. It's just so dumb. And that's what makes me honestly really mad about this entire situation. It's just so stupid. Don't do that. But, you know, regardless.
I mean, it's a good story. It's a good twist.
Yes, it is. Well, yeah. I don't know. I think having read the book, I was really disappointed in the twist because I was just like, I was easily able to guess it.
I mean, I didn't guess that it was wrong. I got it by the start of the 6th episode or so, but yeah.
Oh, and they also have, like, different colors for the different spirits, and so you can kind of tell that it's actually Rob instead of Adele because they have different colors.
Right.
It's, like, purple versus green. Mm-hmm. So they do have that. And then I think I have a comment about, like, Louise, the actress, did a good job of being, like, off after this body swap. But one thing that we both were like was like, there's no way that Rob knows how to style black hair.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, what is
there's no way.
No.
0%.
Yeah. So we were both like, I don't know about this, but
and like, I don't. What? There's so much, so many of those, like, grooming things, and just like you can't. I doubt it's just that easy to swap into someone's body and be convincingly them from the start. Especially, there's no way the kid would be. I mean, he was kind of uneasy, clearly, but there's no way.
Yeah, well, her son, Adam, like, definitely knows that something is up. But yeah, like, I don't know, I think the first thing that Rob does once he's swapped into Louise's body is take a shower, and it's like, but I don't think you're supposed to wash black hair all that often. Also, like, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a black woman. I don't know how to style black hair, but I definitely know that there are things that you should and should not do with it, and I just feel like Rob would not know that.
Yeah. There's no way.
So, yeah, I mean, there were definitely some things that were done well, but some things that were like, I don't know about this.
They kind of alluded to, like, oh, are we going to have to move again? And, like, oh, I've had to do this a lot. But what exactly... Because clearly it wasn't Rob possessing a different body every time, because he was still Adele. So what was it? He would just, like drum up drama and make affairs, and then...
I think, well, the thing with Marianne was, like, he was threatening her and, like, I mean, in the book, killed her cat.
Rob was, but it seemed like he was engineering affairs for, what's the husband's name? David, yeah.
What do you mean engineering affairs?
Well, it seemed like he was creating love triangles to get jealous about them and, like, create conflict with other random people and then... Like,
yeah,
right? It seemed like he manipulated...
Well, I think... So, Rob is just really possessive, and I don't think he's necessarily, like, creating any situations, but, like, is seeing things that may or may not be there.
Oh, it also may be inadvertent, but I think with Louise, like, Adele getting to know forces Louise and David to be closer...
Yeah, that's a little
and so, like,
odd.
It's almost like he's inviting the drama in, even if it's not intentionally, but he's inviting the drama in so he'll have someone to be possessive against and be jealous of.
I mean, maybe. I don't
know. At least in the Louise situation, that's what it seems like. But he mentioned that it happened multiple times. And it's like... It's
Not
like
having
at first
issues.
you think like David, you're just a scumbag for cheating
Yeah,
on her
yeah.
a bunch of times, and like, but clearly she's actually crazy. Or Rob is. Actually
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think of the characters, Louise is probably my favorite, though she does make some like incredibly dumb decisions. But I think David is interesting.
No, the best character is Louise's friend, who she talks shit to sometimes with
Yeah.
the like undercut or whatever she's got going on.
Yeah, I think in the book the friend is kind of meh, but I think in the show she's not there
She's a
that
real
often.
one. Yeah, she's only in 2 or 3 episodes, but she was
Keeping it real.
should have listened to her.
Yeah, well, that definitely happens in the book also, where the friend is like, what are you even doing? Like, you can't be involved with both of them. Like, this is just a shitty situation. Like, you should just remove yourself from this. And Louise is like, nah, I don't want to do that.
And honestly, the ex-husband seemed like she'll do too.
Yeah.
So the side characters, yeah, okay, keep going on. Just wall these people off from your life.
Yeah, it's also interesting just to see how, like, your perception of David as
He seemed
Story
okay.
progressive.
I kept thinking like this dude's clearly a scumbag, but by the end you're like, jeez,
he's just trying to.
he's
like,
on the edge of snapping like the whole time, and it's not really his fault. I
Yeah.
completely get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a confusing situation to be in, where
Yeah,
like
handle it
your
well.
fiance suddenly like starts acting completely different, and then you're also just kind of like stuck, and things just progressively get worse, and he kind
But
of
it was
feels like
already-
it's his burden to bear. I think.
But it was already a weirdly predatory situation with him being like her doctor. Like that's something.
Wait, what?
Not that it was predatory. It just leans. It just. It's way too easy to slide into. Oh, I'm just prescribing you drugs and like keeping her locked up. So you kind of think like he's like controlling her
yeah, I see
and
what you mean.
everything. And it's very easy to make that leap from you're in a relationship. There's a conflict of interest there. You shouldn't be sort of in charge of managing that part of her life. But I think that's just a coping mechanism. It's probably not the right idea. But that and the drinking and the just all the douchey stuff, all the stuff you're like, oh, this guy's not so good. Is kind of.
He's just trying to.
She's
make
kind of.
the best out of the.
Yeah,
shitty
she's kind of
situation.
broken him, and he's
Yeah.
just like last resort
Yeah.
of like prescribing all these pills and being shitty and a drunk.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I don't know. I mean, none of them are really.
No,
great.
they're not terribly sympathetic. But I think his is the most logical reactions and the like he's the most easy to rationalize his shittiness of the 3 characters. Rob is irredeemable. Louise is just kind of dumb, and he's like backed into a corner. What are you gonna do? And he does end up going to cops and stuff. So it's not like
Yeah.
he redeems part of it, but he's kind of trapped. So.
Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I think that's about it. Like, it's not generally the type of thing I watch. There's not like some sort of drug crime aspect or fantasy sci-fi aspect. Not really here. I mean, there's a little.
Yeah, it definitely leans into the supernatural thriller.
Yeah. I mean, I do kind of. Sometimes it's nice to have those things that just have like one. It's normal world except for one little thing that this. I think this will qualify as that. It's not like a superpower, or kind of superpower, but not like completely unbelievable. Just a slight leap added to real life. But yeah, I liked it
Yeah.
more than expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting. Like, I definitely liked the show much more than the book, but I think having read the book, I like almost think it increased how much I liked the show, just because I was like looking for those hints and everything early on.
I feel like it tends to happen.
Yeah.
Just
But
'cause
yeah.
you're invested in the story.
But like, I didn't really love the book all that much. So that was kind of weird, I think, to me, that I was like that much more excited about the show, having not liked the book all that much. Like, it was fine. It was a 3-star book, but
Well, yeah, I think it's probably similar for like The Witcher. Like, I don't love those books. They're good. Like I'd say, they're 7.5, 8 out of 10. But it doesn't make the show. Just building on a universe that you kind of like can make you like it more, even if it's not top tier. Not everything's gonna be 10 out of 10.
just have to like enjoy enough of it. And it was a limited series, so like, I don't know. That was fine to like spend 6 hours or whatever. Yeah. Maybe not quite that. So I guess that'll do it for this short little discussion today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I guess let us know in the comments what you thought of this, and if you've read the show or watched and if you've read the book or watched the show,
or read the the plot, read the script for the show.
I can't words.
Stage directions help, I think.
Anyway, yes, if you've consumed this story one way or another, like, let us know what you thought of that, and yeah, I guess that'll do it. So I do have a Discord channel, and if you want to join that, the link is in the description below. We hope you're all having an excellent day and are reading something awesome. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, as that would certainly help me out. But with that, I think we're going to wrap it up here and see you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.